wanted to go live and tell you guys. Oh! There we go. Hi, everybody. I got so excited when things that weren't working suddenly are working. If you were here a little while ago, I was on live a little while ago. I was doing it through my cell phone. My battery was running down. And there was somebody joining in on the chat that a couple of his messages kind of just gave me the heebie-jeebers. And so I decided to end that, delete that, and we're going to start again fresh, okay? Because it's really important to me that this community is a safe place and that we're not being pervy and scammy and gross, okay? So if you're on the chat with me, I can pop in and say hello if you're here to take in some knit and crochet, jive, jam, fun stuff. Let's have a chat. If you're not here for that, I don't want to hear about it. Hey everybody, Perfectly Knotty. The Empress of Yarn at Perfectly Knotty is at your service for a little while. Haven't been on live in a while, and I'm kind of excited to be back in the groove. So what I have going on right at the moment is this hat. I bought this hat last year at the grocery store. I paid about $12 for it, and it is raffia, and I thought it was just cute, and it just, oh, I tied the string too tight. Oh my goodness, there's a string, an adjustable string in here, and it's too tight. All right, I'm gonna have to do something with that. There we go. All right, there we go. There we go. There's my touristy sun hat, and I like it. It's super easy, but it came with these little fake leather ties around it, which was fine. And then I had these little, I had a straw hat from a long time ago that had these little seashells on it, and that hat died. So I took that and I tied it around this hat to add to it. But this is what happened. We were on vacation last week, and I had this hat with me, and I wore it a couple times, and it got dirty, and it was crunched and from being in my luggage and stuff, and so it wasn't doing good. So I took it and I put it inside a mesh laundry bag, and I washed it on a delicate cycle, and but the strings that were holding all of my shells on broke, and I now have a little box full of the loose ones. And so what I did is I washed it. It was wet. I put it on a styrofoam head. Okay, got that. And then I put it upside down inside a bowl like this. I'll show you what that looked like this, until it dried out. And that helped to reshape the brim of the hat. So I have titled this video, Fix It or Throw It Away, and why mending isn't as lost of an art as our culture likes to think that it is. Granted, the 80s and the 90s, we really did get away from mending, and we saw this huge surge in the mass-produced and manufactured goods. Fast fashion really started to become a thing, but I personally have not. I mean, while I have a lot of items that qualify as fast fashion, I don't use them like fast fashion. I use them and wear them until they need to go into the rag pile. I mend things. I have been known to mend a t-shirt where the underarm seam on a t-shirt pops open. I will mend it. So today we're going to have a little chat about mending while I take this hat and all of these beads and I'm going to put them back on my hat. I'm using some hemp cord that I have. I have some different sizes of it, and we're just going to use some of that and these shells, and I'm gonna crochet them on here onto my hat while we chat. So if you have questions about mending and or stories about it, I'd love to hear it. Where on my previously these all the shells and little wooden beads were just strung on. I'm actually going to crochet them on as I go. I think that makes it a little more structured. Maybe we'll give it a little bit more longevity. So we're going to do that while we chitter chatter. I grew up mending. I actually enjoy the process of mending. I even like ironing, and that's okay. And I'm wondering, do you like mending? Do you like ironing? For me, it's kind of part of the challenge of creativity to me. I enjoy being creative, and I enjoy the challenge, and I enjoy seeing how much life I can get out of something. It's really empowering to me, and so I like to mend things when I can. So what we're doing today, so I've got this cord, and I just started a little bit of a chain at the back, and I'm going to make some chain stitches and put on a shell or a bead all the way around. So, but my grandmother, one of my grandmothers, grew up in the Northeast. Well, actually, all of my grandparents grew up in the Northeast. Chicago, Boston, Wisconsin, and that sort of those areas. And at a time when life was pretty tough 100 years ago, we're coming into the Great Depression. We're just coming out of Edwardian period. The flappers are all in the rage, and it's kind of in fashion. And that's when my grandparents grew up. But they had very different life experiences. My mother's side and my dad's side had very, very different experiences. My mother's side, while not truly affluent, certainly had more resources than my father's side. And my father's mother's side actually ran moonshine for Al Capone, which is kind of interesting to learn about. I've been going through family documents recently and sorting them. I haven't gotten into the documents too much, but was in looking at the at pictures today and going through some things, and it was very interesting to think about that part of life experience that I inherit from my grandparents. And one of them is taking care of things and maintaining things, repairing things. My father's mother, my grandmother on my dad's side, used to say all the time, what can you do with what you have? That was just where we started. That was where, and for me, there's such a huge, deep connection in my creativity to this process of thinking about what I have and how can I take what I already have and make something without thinking about just going and buying things. And it's a very different way of thinking than is typical in our just order it from Amazon life and world. And it served me very well during times of my life when I did not have a lot of resources and was just simply buying something was not always an option. And I wonder if you have those experiences in your life. And for some of us, it builds a sense of creativity. It also, for me, helped to perpetuate some negative experiences with money, where we talked a lot about lack and not having. But it also made me more creative, learning how to do things and make things and repair things with what I had, sticking to what I had first. And then it became a challenge in a fun way. You know, there's challenges that are not so fun. And then there are those challenges that are fun. And that actually has helped to really fuel my creativity. What can I do with what I have? And that is why right now I am mending a hat. Of all things, I am mending a $10 raffia sun hat that I got at a grocery store. And when I was at the grocery store on earlier this week, they're back. I could have just bought another one. I could have just said, oh, that one's wrecked. I'll just get another one. But I'm not. I'm not doing that. I am fixing my hat. Do you think that's weird? Or do you think that's clever and creative? What is that for you in your creative life? So there's a thing I learned, kind of a concept that I've learned recently that has really struck me very powerfully, and I want to share that with you. And it's something that I think I'm going to be talking about more going forward. And the concept is that every single item, everything that you have ever owned is still on this planet. Have you ever thought about that? Every single thing is still on this planet. It's either blessing someone else's home and life and living out its purpose and its job. I mean, you can see if I lean this way, there we go. You can see my antique chair. I actually have 4 of these. And, or so it's either continuing to serve you or it is now serving someone else because you sold it or you gave it away. But it also could be rotting away in a landfill somewhere. And it's really amazing. And I think as Americans, we are so very unaware of what happens to garbage when we throw it away. I would challenge you, as if you're an American and unaware of that, to learn a little bit about what happens to our garbage when we're done with it. It's an amazing amount of it gets put on giant container ships and shipped to other countries to rot on their beaches and on their land so that we're not polluting our own land. And I really want you to think about that. I am very much a believer that we are stewards of this planet that we live on, that we have a responsibility to treat our planet with love and with care, and to be responsible with the things that we own and do. And it's not a huge mission. That's my repairing a hat is not by itself going to save the planet. But if everybody's repairing a hat, it's going to help. I will also add that I am a very, very, very strong believer and witness to the fact that the earth that we live on has some extraordinary regenerative abilities. When we get out of its way and we let the earth do what it does. So I think that for me right now at this stage in my life, I don't want more stuff. And as you can see behind me, I have a lot of stuff. All this yarn inventory that is available for sale for you at perfectlyknotty.com. I want to help you and encourage you to make things for you to wear, things for your family and friends to wear, things for your home that are going to be things that you love and like and use for decades. This fast turnover of products and items really is a pretty new concept. And it gets faster all the time, and we are pushed all the time by manufacturers and marketers to just buy a new one, buy another one. You need the latest, the greatest, the newest, the whatever. But maybe we don't. Maybe we need what we have, just what we have. And maybe what we need more of is each other. So I'd like to know what you think about that. What is your experience with that? I like mending. Let's see how this is coming along. That's going to be cute. There'll be another band of this, and it'll offset and hang along with it. I'm excited about it. I might put some other, if this keeps turning out this good, I might actually put some other things on there just for the fun of it. What can you do this week coming up? I think one of the things that I've been very aware of in the recent years is how much of the stuff that I buy that has plastic attached to it, wrapped around it, that it's made out of. My glasses are plastic. My shirt, while it's cotton, it also has some spandex or some polyester or something in it, which is plastic. It's in everything. It's on everything and things at the store. Even when you go and you buy those vitamins and supplements to help you be healthy, what are they bottled and packaged in? Plastic. My organic, what are they? I don't know, whatever they are. My seaweed chips. Here they are. There's these lovely seaweed chips, and they're so delicious. But they're in a plastic tray with a little moisture packet that's made out of silica, which is none of that is recyclable or biodegradable. And then it's inside a Mylar pouch. Also not. So here I have this food item that's good for me. It's good for the planet, but it's packaged in a way that completely nullifies the good that the product is. My vitamins all come in plastic bottles. You go to the produce department and you want to get some grapes, they come in plastic. And here in the Pacific Northwest, plastic drinking straws and plastic grocery sacks are apparently the evil thing, when really maybe it's disposable baby diapers and all of the little bits of cellophane that everything is wrapped in, and the little plastic things that tags are attached to your clothes when you buy them. Those things aren't necessarily as in your face visible, but by volume, they're out there. Toothbrush handles, toothbrush bristles. Yeah, it's everywhere, you guys. It's everywhere. My computer has so much plastic in it. My good camera that I paid a really lot of money for, it's plastic. The body is plastic. My tripod, plastic. Everything. There's so much plastic. So what can we do? What can we do? And then we know that human beings have existed for millennia without it. But now we've made ourselves dependent upon it, right? And now we're trying to reverse it, but maybe not in the smartest way. Anyway, well, that's me babbling about things for currently 24 minutes. Appreciate those of you that have visited, stopped by, said hello. I appreciate your participation and attention. I would love to know if you have thoughts on how, just as a consumer, as a human being going around and living your life and doing things every day, what are some of the things that you do that reduce waste, or maybe to repair something? Maybe there's something that you do. I'd love to hear about that. I think that when we make our clothes, when we repair our clothes, we we're more invested in them. And I think, a lot of times we think of investment as a financial thing, but sometimes our um, investment is really also our effort and our time and our money. Oh, Annie says it's a good topic. Thank you, Annie. I would love to hear if you have some insights on it. My insights on this feel really rambly because I feel like it's something that has really, it's always been on my mind. I was that kid in the 1970s who had a Ziggy poster on her wall about recycling. It's because it's always fascinated me from a creative perspective. How can I be creative? How can I creatively use something better, longer? Um, but it has become much more than that, I think. I've also read a lot of literature. I particularly like 19th century literature. And something that I see a lot in that literature is how often in these books they discuss women remaking a dress or altering or adjusting a dress. Prior to World War II, the volumes of clothes that people owned was much, much smaller. And it was not unusual for a person, a woman, or a tailor to take an existing, take an existing dress and remodel it to make it more currently fashionable. It's a fascinating process that I feel like got set aside when fast fashion became the norm. And I feel like fast fashion does not want you to be creative. They don't want you to express creativity because they make their money on your lack of skills. They don't want you to know how to sew. They don't want you to know how to mend. They don't want you to know how to crochet or knit or weave or any of that. Because if you know how to do these things, you don't have to go buy their stuff. It is a system that is designed to keep us dependent upon them. Oh, what is Annie? Annie says, I recycle, compost, and like you, I mend. I try to reuse or repurpose constantly. Me too. We compost. We grow food when we can. It doesn't always work here, but we do the best we can. Yeah, I love composting. It makes me very happy. Composting is fun. Yeah, I mend. I wear things. I actually will use fabric. It's become very popular again to take old clothing and items and so use them as fabric to make new things. And I think it's quite fun to watch these young people doing something that our ancestors have been doing for thousands of years. It has kind of gotten set aside and they're rediscovering it as if it is their invention. It has so long been something that has been set aside that it feels like they've reinvented it, or that they've invented it in general. But really, it's long standing. Yeah, I want to get the most out of a thing in clothing, in my wardrobe. I refer to this, I have a little math problem and little math formula, if you will, that I like, that I refer to as the cost per wear. How much did I pay for a thing? And then I think about how many times am I going to wear it? And if I can get my cost per wear down to such a small number that it feels like I'm getting paid to keep wearing my clothes. Cost per wear. Yeah, I want to increase, I want people to think about that too and be aware of those kinds of things. Yeah. Um, do you have particular mending things that you like to do? Years ago, when my children were young, and this was the 90s, and grunge fashion was the kind of on the scene, and my brother was is a bass player, amongst other amazing things that my brother does. He was playing in the Seattle band scene at the time, and I used to make patches on his jeans and his flannels. So I helped in that way, I guess, contribute to the Seattle grunge scene fashion statement that was being made. That was pretty fun for me to be part of it in that way, especially at a time when my life was a little bit more limited. That's a different story for a different day. Oh my goodness. While we've been chatting, you guys, I have come all around with my hat. Let's show you what I've got. I've still got this much of this cord, and I'm going to keep going because I have some more shells to add. Here it is. This is what it's looking like. And you can see I've made a chain as I go. And then every few, I actually am chaining it right to the hat itself so that it stays secure. And I have this other little pile of shells, and I'm just going to keep going and adding, and it'll be fun. It'll make it cheery. You love the idea. Oh, good. Embroidery is a rekindled passion. Oh, good. And there's so many. I am really loving watching what people are doing with using embroidery for mending. That is so fun. Embroidery is not a skill that I really mastered. I can do a few things, but it's never really reached a, oh, I thought I was going to sneeze. It never really reached a skill set level for me. And, but I watched some of these videos, and it's very fun. It's very interesting to watch, how people are using embroidery, and even just some very basic mending techniques. It's very fun. Very, very fun. I love that. So, okay. Here's my little box. Here's another example of not being wasteful. This is a really sturdy little box with a really nice cotton ribbon that we received as a gift. And we opened it up, and there were chocolates in here. Now, the chocolates were nestled in a little plastic divider thinger. Again, with the plastic. But the box was nice, and it's very sturdy, and it made me happy. I don't know what its job is going to be. Maybe I will make a gift, repurpose it as a gift box, because it's such a cute, nice little box. So I want you to think about that thing that I said earlier, and if you weren't on, I'm going to say it again. The concept that I recently learned is that every single thing that we have ever owned in our entire lives is still on this planet. It is either still serving us or it is living its life out serving someone else, or it is rotting in a landfill somewhere on the planet, making a mess, causing fires and other things. I think it makes me very conscientious about what I buy, why I buy it, and where I buy it. And I will confess right now, I am not a I'm not a climate change I'm not a proponent, but I'm also not an oppositionist either. Because I believe very strongly that we all have a duty and a responsibility as individuals to do the best that we can to take care of our planet. I also believe very, very, very strongly, even more strongly, in our planet's own ability to heal itself when us human beings get out of the way and stop harming it and stop trying to help it. I've been watching for a long time, and I'm glad to start seeing a little bit more conversation about mining. Mining is profoundly damaging our planet. But at the same time, the things that are being mined are things that we require to function and survive in our world today. Mining for gold, it just strips the earth and it disrupts the soil. And so the natural biome of the soil is disrupted. And you will see, so if you've ever watched that, I think it's on Discovery Channel, that show Gold Rush, and they show gold mining in, most of it's in the Yukon, but they sometimes will show other things. It's so disruptive, but you can also see in that 50 years later, 100 years later, the trees are growing back and the earth is reclaiming itself. So, but when they dig down in areas that have been previously mined, they can tell by the layers of the soil what is virgin ground and what has been turned in the process. So it's really fascinating to think about. We cannot leave the earth completely undisturbed forever. I don't think that's a realistic thing, but we also need to think about how we're disturbing it and for what. There's a lot of push in our area to for wind power, but those blades on a wind turbine are made out of polymers and fiberglass and composite materials that don't biodegrade. They don't. And they also they have a shockingly short lifespan, and they have to be replaced regularly. And where are they going? And what are they doing with them? Sometimes what we think of as green energy and what we think of what visibly as a consumer looks green and good for the planet, if you dig back further in it, a lot of times it's not as green as we think it is, as what we see. So I would encourage you to think about those things. Annie says she loves the flowers coming out of pockets. At the moment, I'm doing random embroidery on a piece of repurposed denim that will become a wallet. That is amazing, Annie. I love that. That's going to be fabulous. That wallet, that's going to be great. I love it. Okay, you guys, thank you for spending some time with me and letting me ramble about mending and recycling and our regenerative planet and being nice to our planet. Oh. It's life with Suzi sometimes, you guys. Thank you. I appreciate you being part of my life and my world. I'd love it if you click the like button, click the subscribe button, leave me some comments. Help me have some more fun. Help me help you. Tell me how I can help you with your knitting or your crochet and your creativity. Let's make beautiful things together that last. I want to encourage you and inspire you to make beautiful things that are going to last and be relevant for decades and generations to come. I want your great grandkids to be arguing over the sweater that you made because that's beautiful. Okay. All right. Thank you so much. Thanks for being part of my world and my random chatting, because that's what I do. And I will catch you some other time. All right. Don't forget to subscribe and like and comment and share. Head over to the website, sign up for the newsletter. Oh, and I have a free course on there for you if you don't know how to crochet right now, or you want to brush up on your skills, or you know somebody who wants to learn. My Learn to Crochet the Basics for Beginners class is available for free right now, and it's not going to stay free forever. So it's in the online store, and then go to the section called Classes, Workshops, and Stitch Alongs, and you'll find it in there. So, okay, off we go. On to other things for the day.